What's up, everybody? You're very welcome along to today's Match Day's Late Night Agenda. I'm your host Craig. This is the Anfield Agenda YouTube channel, and as always, guys, you're very welcome along to the show. It was really important for the Reds to get back to winning ways today, and they did that thanks to a Mohamed Salah penalty. Mo's 14th league goal of the season already. Thank you, Mo. Thank you, Mo. What else to say but thank you, Mo. He won it, he took it, he scored it. As I said, it's number 14 of the season for Mo Salah. The Reds currently sit 7 points top of the Premier League. We've got Manchester City, of course, to play on Monday, and Spurs to play Manchester United tomorrow. How is everybody doing on this fine evening? Gabriel is in, Recessioniser's in, Mickey's in, the Revenite, Mossy, Paul, how are we? Origi's in, Eganito's in, Mossy's in, as I said. How are we, guys? I hope you enjoyed the game earlier on. We've had a bit of time to digest it now, a bit of time to get over what was a tough game. I mean, Brighton were very well organised. It was very, very limited in the space Liverpool had to play in today. We'll go through it all. We'll go through our man of the match. We'll go through each player's performance. We'll have a look ahead to future games. We'll have a little chat about the City game on Monday and everything else you want to talk about, because this is your show. How are we? David Carroll said I'd take 16 1-0 wins, and all the haters saying Salah dived. Look, on the Salah thing, fuck off, basically, is where I'm going with that one. Anyone who says that he dived is an idiot. It's as simple as that. Look, we're all salty when it comes to opposition fans and when we look at opposition players, and I'll go through, I have a little section on this later on that I wanted to go through, but it was a blatant penalty. Come on, let's be fair. Big ups, Craig said Gabriel, how are you, sir? Joanne is in. Joanne, great to have you with us as always. Craig, I thought Hendo was good. Interesting, Mossy. I will come back to you on that one in a second, mate, because I beg to differ a little bit, but you know what, I'm going to respect your opinion, buddy, and I look forward to hearing why you think Hendo had such a good game. Origi said, I'm just a moaning bastard complaining about 3 PM kickoffs. You're not the only one. It's tough. It's tough when you can't go and see these games at 3 PM and you can't go and watch the Reds. I mean, it is fucking tough. Angus Courts 123 said, Craig, what's your thoughts on Coutinho to United? And Nathan pretty much summed it up straight underneath, mate. A load of bollocks is what Nathan said. But look, Angus, I'm not going to lie, buddy. If he goes to Manchester United, it's going to hurt. It is going to hurt. It's going to be a massive kick in the goolies, as we say in Ireland here, to everybody associated to Liverpool, fan base in particular. It would have made a mockery of the reason he left the club. And I don't see it happening, if I'm being honest. I haven't seen any concrete rumours to this, Angus, and maybe I've missed it because I'm not really looking into United's transfers, but it would cost them, I'm sure, an awful lot of money to bring him in, and I'm not sure if he's what they need. United fans would know better than me, but I hope it doesn't happen. I really hope it doesn't happen, because as much as I already dislike him for the way he left, that would make it very, very tough to take, and we're going to have to just wait and see, pal. Maybe it might be a summer thing, but it's going to be a tough one. Going to be a really tough one to take if it happens. Angus, though, what's your thoughts on it, mate? Love to know how you're feeling about it. Where else are we? Jurgen's kind of whoop ass, said Danny Gibson. Abso-fucking-lutely. Whoop ass indeed, young man. Liverpool are back in business, said Eric Hughes. Top of the pile, baby. Top of the pile. I'm not sure he'll go to United, said Mickey Friars, with regards to Felipe Coutinho. We've matches like Chelsea, Spurs, etc. in the last 8, and they're effing 3 PM kickoffs. So annoying. You might get them moved, though. I mean, if you're talking about the last 8 games of the season, buddy, they won't have been put up for television yet, so you still have a chance that some of those could be moved and you will get to see the Reds. Ben O'Sullivan, mate, I agree with... I haven't read out your comment fully yet, but I agree with it before I even read it. Mane is such a strange player. Some off days and some brilliant days. And that's it, Ben. You get a mixed bunch with Sadio Mane. But he always tries, mate. He never really goes hiding. He's always there, and he's always putting himself in the right positions. Today he had a chance. I think he probably could have done better. He sliced it, but again, getting himself into the position. So you're right, it's a mixed bag with Sadio Mane. But you know what? We still love the guy, don't we? Ella said, hi Craig, great result. Missed the game though, wasn't work. Ella, not gonna lie, you didn't miss too much, pal. It wasn't the greatest of Liverpool performances, but that doesn't matter. All that matters is that Liverpool put 3 points on the board. 11 clean sheets now. 11, guys, for the Reds this season. That is unbelievable. Hi lads, can you tell me which team are top of the league? Oh Greg, that's a tough one, pal. Is it? No, it's not Everton. No, I'm definitely not sure. Is it Man City? It has to be, surely it's no. Hang on a minute, Greg. It's only the motherfucking Reds that are top of the league, buddy. Woo woo! My wife always wonders when I give it a whoop whoop what the fuck is going on. I could see Dembele to United, but not Coutinho, said Nathan Carter. Salah dropping into the midfield was so effective. Good shout, Sam. Him coming deeper and picking up the ball. To talk through this, I suppose, a little bit technically, when he came deep and he picked up the ball, what you've seen immediately was if he could spin his man in possession or run past one player, he could play it into the feet of Bobby Firmino, Sadio Mane, and then they spin, play it off, and we're in behind, and it was very, very effective, Sam. Great shout, mate. We could have probably done a bit more of that in the first half, but you know what? Maybe it was an instruction from the gaffer, or maybe it was just match cleverness from the man himself. But yes, it was much more effective and gave us much more options. Huddersfield broke the streak, said Gabriel Adam. Or Gabriel, I keep getting your name wrong, pal, sorry. Somebody told me earlier on that Burnley won. They won 2-1, but they didn't have a shot on target because they were 2 own goals or something. That is the most Burnley win I've ever heard of. Felipe Anderson will be a good acquisition, said Super QWERTY. Goals and assists in his game, and he can play almost anywhere in the midfield. He's been very, very good, hasn't he, for West Ham since he's come in. A lot of people were shouting his name over the summer, actually. A fair few clubs fans were looking at bringing him in, but West Ham pulled the trigger, and do you know what? He's doing really well for them. Paul McCann, simple. Boom. Love it, pal. I mean, you said it all there. Scotty's in as well. How are you, buddy? Craig, do you prefer 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3? 4-3-3, Mossy, I think. 4-2-3-1 seems to leave us doing a lot of long ball hitting, a lot of playing the ball into the corners to try and give Salah space to run onto it, and I'm not a fan of that because it doesn't really lead to much for us. It leads to frustration. 4-3-3 for me is a little bit more effective, but again, it depends on what opposition you're playing and how they set up. Craig, I don't think they'll be moved. The reason the last 8 weeks at 3 PM is money. No, mate, they will. Trust me. Not all of them, of course. I mean, a lot of them probably will be 3 PM. The last game of the season is always on a Sunday, and it's always a 2 or a 4 PM kickoff. I can't remember which one. But the other ones, I'd say you've got a good chance at least 2 of those are going to be moved. Particularly if we're challenging for the title, mate, because they're going to want Liverpool on television, because they're the ones that are going to be, on the run in to try and claim the title. They're going to want to show Liverpool as much as they can, see how they cope with the pressure. And as you said, it is about money, and that money will be in televised Liverpool games. Could we please just splash the cash on a creative midfielder, said David Davidson. Sometimes, mate, I come on and I call people moaning fuckers and that, but I can fully understand where you're coming from. I'm in the same boat as you, but I also trust the manager, so he obviously thinks we've enough there to get us through. I fully believe he's got something lined up for the summer. Absolutely. He knows we need that player. As much as people love Shaqiri, and as much as people, he was doing really well, I always said, and I think I'll give myself some credit on this one, I always firmly said that I don't think he's enough of a player, that we always needed that Fekir or that somebody else, because as good as Shaqiri can be, I took a little bit of stick for this at the time, but I said I don't think he's as effective as people think he's going to be. I think he can be an impact player, he can be okay, but he's not of the level that we need to constantly play in that position. Now, we do have Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain coming back, so when he comes back, that will give us a little bit more dynamism around the midfield, a little bit more directness with his pace and running. Again, it's another option for the manager, but I still firmly believe, like you've said, mate, that we need another creative midfielder, somebody to play in the hole, or another wide forward would even do. October said top of the league, plain and simple, and spot on October. Evening, Craig, knew there would be a penalty today, said Heme. Don't mention penalty, mate. Oh, don't mention penalty. If there's anyone watching that isn't a Liverpool fan, their heads are going to fall off. But you're not allowed to mention penalties around Liverpool anymore because, apparently we're getting them left, right and centre for no reason whatsoever. Whoops. I'm only joking, buddy. You, of course, are free to talk about whatever the fuck you want. And thank you for the comment. 13 clean sheets, not 11, Craig. There you go. I mean, I'm doing this out of 2 clean sheets, David. 13 clean sheets. That is ridiculous. Ridiculous. What have we conceded this season? 10 goals or something? 10 goals. I read a stat that was only a Chelsea team, I think maybe under Mourinho, are the only other team in the history of the league who've conceded less at this point. Not even the Liverpool flan, but flan? You're definitely not a fucking flan, Jake. Jesus Christ. Jay Cunning said, not even the Liverpool fan, but this bloke seems sound. I've got my moments, buddy. Trust me, I can be okay, but I'm a cranky fucker at the best of times. But welcome in, Jay. Great to have you with us. Evening, Craig. Shit mood, said our friend from Leicester City. You know what, mate? I don't blame you. You couldn't see that result coming. You guys are very, very hit and miss this season, aren't you? I've been paying a little bit of attention to Leicester because yourself, obviously, and Lee Chappie and other people that I'm friendly with are Leicester fans. So I've been kind of keeping a bit of an eye out for them, as well as looking at how Maddison is getting on as well, and your left back. I don't know what to say to you, pal. It must be frustrating because you know what your team are capable of, and then they go and lose a game at home like that against, okay, a good revitalised Southampton team, but still. And was the Southampton down to 10 men, if memory serves me correct. Everyone today was watching how we react after 2 losses, and everyone except Liverpool fans will be pissed off tonight. Do you know what? Yeah. And isn't it great that it was a shitty old 1-0 win as well? A 1-0 win that they would be all like, oh, if only this ball dropped, or if the penalty was given for that. A salty 1-0 win is always a good one for opposition fans. You should have seen some of the comments today. They were being said. I don't read the comments anymore on the YouTube videos because it just drives me mad looking at them. So to be honest with you, and for every good one there is, there's 50 other ones calling me a bald nonce or something along those lines. So I don't read them anymore, but some of them were sent to me today in screenshots, and my God, salty is an understatement. I've been called everything you can think of today. A fat scouse cunt, even though I'm Irish, which really makes me hilarious. A bin dipper, again Irish, and bin dipper. I mean, yeah, I'm probably not that well off, but fuck it, I don't get it. These people are absolute Looney Tunes. What have we got? When did I forget the Reds are going to win the league? What did I forget? The Reds are going to win the league, said Scotty. I don't know what you're saying, mate. But we are going to win the league, so let's go with that one. Okay, loads of your comments coming in. How are we all on this fine Saturday evening? Cahill said, Fabinho versus Brighton. Aerial duels 1, 4 out of 4. Tackled 1. Clearances 5, the most on the pitch. Interceptions 1. Passes 110. Pass success 85%. And of course, a clean sheet. Thank you, Cahill, for those statistics, buddy. And just to go on to Fabinho, actually, I never gave you my man of the match earlier on. Well, it is Fabinho. And for kind of the reasons Cahill is saying, along with a couple of other interceptions, which he blocked down a shot from Brighton at one point, and he cut out a couple of crosses across the box. I thought he was very good. Now, obviously, playing alongside Virgil van Dijk, he was going to be helped through the game, but I don't think he really needed too much help because his positional sense and his defensive awareness, he glided through that game today, and I thought he was fantastic. So for me, I gave my man of the match to Fabinho, but there was a couple of contenders today. A few people said Robbo, a few people said VVD. Again, I want to give a special shout out to Trent Alexander-Arnold as well today, because he picked up a knock in the warm-up before the game. Klopp said he didn't think he was going to make it, but Trent bit down on his gum shield, as we say, came back out and got through the game. So well done to Trent. Just goes to show you what that young man is made of. Still to watch match of the day, said Joanne Fisher. Do you know, I must be the only person in the world that doesn't watch that. I never watch match of the day. I don't know why. I just never bring myself to watch it. Notice that Robbo's been getting caught out a lot more recently when he's coming out. Has he? I don't know. I'm not saying you're right or you're wrong, Oren. I just haven't noticed it. What I will say is, today in particular, he was making runs down the left, and I didn't feel that anybody was making a further run ahead of him to either give him an option or to allow him to cut back inside. What he had to keep doing was making his run down the line, and then he was turning back into himself and having to play it backwards. It kind of negated the whole run that he made in the first place. Jake said, what do you think of Cliftonville? Mate, honestly, my knowledge of Northern Irish football is very, very, very limited indeed. Extremely limited, pal. So excuse me for my ignorance, but I don't really know too much about them, buddy. Thanks a million for doing the watch-alongs. I really appreciate it, said Mossy Kyo. My pleasure, mate. My absolute pleasure. It's always great to be able to share the games with you guys, so thank you for joining me today. Loads of comments to get through. Jeez, I didn't think I was this far behind. When are the Reds back on TV in the UK? I don't know, Scotty. I don't know if the Palace game is on TV. It's a 3 o'clock kickoff, actually. It probably isn't. And it probably won't be on TV over here either, so we could all be up shit creek for that one, but you know what, we'll sort it out. Louis said, Chelsea forward Eden Hazard has admitted he loves playing at Anfield. The stadium, the pitch, the atmosphere, I love to play there. A lot of players raise their game when they come to Anfield for the very reasons that Mr. Hazard is speaking about there. Craig, do we need a defender or creative midfielder more? 100% for me, creative midfielder. 100%. I know we're going through a bit of a shitty time at the minute when it comes to centre backs, but Matip is back now. He was in the squad today. Gomez, give him another week or so, he should be back. Lovren, a couple of weeks maybe. So I think we're getting players back. We know that Milner can play at centre back, Fabinho can play at centre back. Hell, I think even Henderson can play at centre back if he needed to. And then of course we have the younger lads as well. So I'd say creative midfielder in my opinion anyway. Dave Serene said, we need to get a fourth and fifth striker to put pressure on the front three. They get a bit lazy and they can have bad days. Yes, mate, but I suppose every forward in the world is going to have a bad day. Nobody can be on form. But the beauty of our front three is if one of them is having a good day, just one of them, that can be enough at times. It just takes that one moment of inspiration in games like today, and it was Mo's little turn in the box and getting pulled back. He missed a sitter though that cost me some money, God bless him. If he'd have scored that open goal, I'd have won a shit ton of money earlier on. But you know what? It is what it is. I'm happy with the win. Hazard wants Liverpool if Dream moves to Madrid falls through, said Manuel Labor, and you know you can take it to the bank when Manuel comes out with stuff like that. Salah gets shot and other people would say he dived. Other people say he ran into the bullet, mate. Yeah, I mean he went looking for that bullet, he did. He ran straight into it. City don't have an easy game. Wolves could get something, said Ella. A lot of people very confident. Connors is almost convinced that Wolves are going to get a draw. I'm not. I think they're going to get their asses handed to them, if I'm being honest. I think it'll be an easy evening for Manchester City, but it still won't make any difference to them. We're still going to be 4 points ahead of them, and they're still going to be chasing us down. Scotty said he went down, it was a penalty. Look, it 100% was a penalty. And I suppose I might as well take a moment or two now to address these fans, because I said earlier on I got sent some screenshots of the trolling and stuff. Well, I got sent some screenshots as well from social media about the reaction of Manchester City fans, shall we say, to Liverpool's penalty today. Almost all of the comments were along the same lines. They were moaning about it. Yeah, they said it was a penalty. But all of them, to a man or woman, said if it was Sterling, there's no way that would be a penalty. Now, motherfuckers, let me just remind you about this. Sterling kicked the damn ground and got a penalty, so shut the fuck up, you're embarrassing yourself. Honestly, Manchester City fans, the few of you that actually exist, saying that if that was Sterling he wouldn't get a penalty. Now I think they're referring to the incident with Andy Robertson, where Robertson had his arms around Sterling and they didn't get a penalty. Understandable. I understand that there has to be consistency at times in the Premier League. I'm forever screaming about how shite referees are a lot of the time, but come on, Sterling kicked the damn ground and got a penalty this season. Kicked the fucking ground. Now, did Raheem Sterling get up and did Raheem Sterling say, do you know what, ref? Nobody touched me, pal. I kicked the ground there, my own fault. Did he fuck? He took the foul and he went about his business. Where was the fume? Where was the fume then? There was none. Mo Salah was pulled back today. It was a penalty. End of. Deal with it. It is what it is. The saltiness isn't going to change a damn thing. It's just part of football at this point. We do it when Harry Kane goes down. I've certainly done it. I know that. I'm not saying that I'm a hypocrite. Fuck it, we're all hypocrites actually to an extent when it comes to this shit. If it's our club, oh, we're screaming for it. If it's anybody else, they're diving, cheating scumbags. That's the way football is. But you cannot go and say Sterling wouldn't get anything when he kicked the fucking ground. Like literally kicked the ground and got a penalty. Come on. You're embarrassing yourselves now. You're drunk. It's time to go home. I'm a Wolves fan until Monday at 10 PM, said Sean. United to bag Southgate as manager, said Romeo. Craig, by the way, that guy came in the other day saying I was laughing at anything offensive. I never was. I didn't pay much attention to it, Louis, mate, if I'm being honest. So you've nothing to explain yourself to me. 10 goals and 2 of them were goalkeeper mistakes. Some of them should have been disallowed. Our defence is rock solid, said O-Dog. It is pretty damn good, isn't it? It's a pretty damn good defence. I knew there'd be a penalty, as there's always one of the Amex. It probably equates to a game from the Premier League 2 seasons ago. What else have we got? Jump on the likes button, said Tom Boland. Please do. And of course, guys, if you are watching, please do hit that subscribe button as well. We picked up a good few in the watch along earlier on, which is brilliant. So let's try and head towards the next target, which is 7,350. So if you're watching, please do drop a like on the stream and hit that subscribe button. Don't blame him, but the rent boy saying Anfield is silent. Salty Everton sucks. Fuck them all. 2 goals weren't Allison's doing either, said Joanne Fisher. Not many troll fans in so far tonight, being anti-Liverpool, wonder why. They'll show up at some point. They tend to be posting into the comment section a lot more when the streams are over now, because they don't have to justify what they're saying. You know, they can just crawl out from under the rock, have their bit of a slag, and then go back in. I'm so proud of myself earlier on, though. I did not interact with one single troll on the watch along stream, which, as you guys know, is very unlike me. But I've tried my best to change for you guys, because I know you don't like my little rants. Any news on Joe Gomez? Not that I'm aware of, other than what Klopp said, I think was in his pre-match press conference, where he was saying that could be another week to 10 days. Fabinho is just superb. What a versatile fella. Versatile, I love that word, haven't I? What a versatile young man. I got called a fat specky forward slag the other day by a City fan after we lost to Wolves. There you go, October. I mean, that's what you're up against sometimes. And how do you react to that? Like, my reaction to that would be, okay, do you think I'm not aware that I might be overweight? Am I not aware that I have glasses? Like, mine is the same. Do you think I don't know I'm overweight? Do you think I don't know that I'm bald? Or that I've got no hair? Like, I do actually have hair, but, you know, bald is my choice. But even at that, just ignore them, October. You know, and we know you're a superstar, pal, so just ignore them. Easier said than done at times, I know, mate, but they're lashing out because there's something missing in their own lives, and they can't express themselves eloquently enough to properly try and bring you down. Not that they should be trying to bring you down, but I'm trying to defend you here, but I'm just going around in a big circle and digging a hole further and further for myself at the moment, so apologies. Good evening, Craig. My man of the match would have been the Mo Sasson. Love it, Tom. The Mo Sasson. Some more of your wonderful comments. Let's go. Craig, do you think a European Cup League double is possible? Anything is possible, Niall. Probable? No. Possible? Absolutely. Well, we're in the competition, mate. I suppose anything is possible. I don't even want to think about what type of celebrations we'd be going through if that was the case, but just the league, mate. Just the league will do me just fine, thank you very much. Although, while we're in it, you never know. We got to the final last year. We're probably a little bit stronger this year, particularly defensively. Craig, do you think we're going to bring in at least one player in this transfer window? No, Tom, I don't, unfortunately, buddy. Perhaps we bring in a kid or a young fullback. Even at that, though, I think very unlikely. But, you know, it is what it is. I hope we do, but I've got to be honest, I don't see it coming. City are cheaters, they've no history, joke of a club, said Active Dan. Manchester City fans, is there such a thing as them, said Nathan. Be good if Wolves and the scum could win, said Gabriel. Is it just me? How's everybody else reacting to Spurs and their challenge, if we should say that at the minute? Does anybody else think they're a serious threat to Liverpool and Manchester City at this moment in time? And that's a genuine question, because I've had different reactions from different people to this. It wasn't Sterling's fault. Pep told him not to tell the ref. Mate, look, either way, he didn't tell the ref. They didn't tell the ref as a club. All their fucking self-righteousness about everything else that's gone on, whoever's fault it was, they didn't speak up. So, as you rightly said, the referee wasn't told. That would be a penalty no matter who was pulled down, to Tom Flynn. City admitted after the game, Liverpool guys never do, said podcast fan. They would admit it, mate. I mean, there was no hiding away from it. It was blatant. He kicked the ground. There was no talking your way out of that one. I've said that a couple of our penalties this season have been soft, in all fairness. Today's one, I think you will probably agree with me, was a Stonewall penalty. But yes, have we been lucky in getting a couple of penalties this season that may not have happened on other occasions? Yes, absolutely. I'll fully admit that. At the same time, I'll also say to you that last year, if you look at the study that was done that corrected all the incorrect decisions and, you know, turned the points around, there was an 18-point swing between Liverpool and United. 12 points Liverpool were denied last year that we should have gotten from either incorrect goals, decisions not given, or major incidents. So these things actually probably do even themselves out to an extent, as much as we as football fans don't want to admit that at times, and I include myself in that. That's my honest opinion of the recent incidents. Today, I even said during the game, I thought Van Dijk was very lucky. He looked like he headed the ball down onto his arm at one point. That could have easily been a penalty, unless it hit the defender's arm. But it looked to me, from my angle, like it was Van Dijk heading it onto his own arm. Kev said, love a Salah penalty, a fuck you, Kane. I seen somebody else earlier on call him Sir Harold of Tottenham, which I thought was brilliant. Got onto West Ham stream yesterday by chance. Boy, do they hate Liverpool. Look, I don't know what to say about West Ham fans. I don't know enough of them to really comment on them, but look, after what they did to the Manchester United bus, I mean, that was really fucking attacking a bus. Whatever you say about Liverpool's kind of Kopperberg incident, that was proper scumbag behaviour. And again, it was only a group of them. It wasn't all West Ham fans, so I wouldn't dare tar them all with the same brush, because I'm sure there's some amazing West Ham fans. Puma, says Stephen Richards. Tonight, mate. Yes, Puma tonight. There you go. I told you I mix it up. That I have to say though, that the lucky jersey, it needs a wash. It really needs a feckin' wash. I said to you I don't like to wash it while we're on a winning streak in it, but Jesus Christ, it needs a wash. Kieran TV is in. How are you, sir? I'm a City fan last 20 years. Said nobody ever. Sean Anthony. I was reading that out going, oh hello, we've a City fan. And then he said nobody ever. It's not Mo's fault that defenders are as thick as pig shit. Said Anthony Peters. City will never be what Manchester United is. Manchester will always be red. Said Active Dan. I guess you're a United fan, mate, but still, welcome into the chat. Are you looking forward to the game against Spurs tomorrow? And are you feeling confident? There's a few Manchester City fans in the chat, said Louis. Do you celebrate Martin Luther King Day in Ireland? No, mate, we don't. Respectfully though, why would we? Martin Luther King is obviously a legendary figure and a very important figure in American historical references, but nothing to us, mate. So no, we don't celebrate him over here. Well, we celebrate the person, of course, but no, the day isn't a specific thing in Ireland. Liverpool the only team not to concede a headed goal in the Premier League this season. I did not know that, Ella. Again, I've come on tonight and learned something, so thank you for that one. Craig, fun fact, that's the first time a team has kept a clean sheet at the Amex this season. Again, brilliant. You guys giving me all the facts, thank you. Great show, Baldy, said Sean. Thank you very much. I need to have something of yours, mate, that I can come back at you with. Have you got one testicle, one ear bigger than the other? Have you got a massive schnoz in your nose or something? I mean, give me something so I can come back at you. I know you're being friendly though. It's only banter. Away to Brighton is a tougher game than Arsenal, in my opinion, said Zepto Gamer. Right, look, time for me to make an admission now. Hi, my name's Craig and I visited Arsenal Fan TV earlier on. Yeah, sorry, I don't do it usually, but I got dragged into the wormhole today on YouTube. I had a bit of spare time and I had a look, and oh god, it was enjoyable. I'm not gonna lie, it was fucking enjoyable. Mr. fucking they've all got to go. They're all shit. They've all got to go. Fuck him. Fuck them all. Stan Kroenke. Fuck Stan Kroenke. I'm going to walk out of the stadium. We need to do something. I don't know what it is, but we need to do something. I'm a geezer, me. I'm a geezer. Yeah, he was there with his hands in his pocket, giving it the usual Billy Big Bollocks. It's fucking hilarious at times watching those clowns. But yeah, people tune in to see their own fan base being made a mockery of. I'll never get that channel. I'll never get it. I completely get it for us, for opposition fans to tune in and look at them and laugh at them melting down, but from the outside it's embarrassing. If I was an Arsenal fan, I would despise that channel. I support Liverpool and C Cup games, so I'm local to Brighton, so I've managed to follow them for the past couple of years, said Heme. I can't wait until you guys drop points, said Podcast Fan. Keep fucking waiting, pal, because it ain't going to be happening anytime soon. With all due respect, because the Reds are absolutely mustard, and we're winning the league. Have I said that before? I'm going to say it again, buddy. We're winning the league. Just imagine we beat Arsenal at the Emirates, 10 points clear. We're not playing Arsenal at the Emirates, mate. I don't know what you mean about that one. You've lost me there completely. When's this game supposed to be? Will Manchester City fans go away, said Mossy. No, mate. They won't, ever. They won't. And do you know what? Fair fucks to them. Let them come in and have a little fun with us, and let them come in and with their banter. Have you noticed that most of them just come in and abuse? I mean, we've had some people, I have to say, like Low Fat, who've been excellent to chat to, but most of them just come in and spam, because they either haven't got the intelligence or the knowledge about the game itself to actually have a fucking conversation with you about it. Match of the day just starting. Liverpool are first up. There we go. First up on match of the day. And somebody actually said to me earlier on that wasn't going to happen. We'd be last. Hello Mossy, how are you? Niall is in as well. Kirby's in. AS Empire, how are we, you amazing people? I've been on Arsenal Fan TV, said our Leicester City friend. There you go. That's the only opposition fan channel that I will ever refuse to have anything to do with, ever. As you guys know, I went on to the United stand. Mark was lovely, sound fella. I would go on to Toffee TV. I would do absolutely anything, but I wouldn't wipe my arse with that channel. I want nothing to do with them apart from the shit about the Sun. I just don't fucking like them. I don't know any of them personally, but Jesus, I just don't like them. Mr. Wellwide on AFTV. Yeah, look, I wasn't on it. I had just had a look at it. I wasn't on it. I would never ever go on that channel. But yeah, look, I feel sorry for some of them, because there's a couple of decent skins in there. Like, what's the guy's name? Troops. I actually have a soft spot for Troops. If you get past all the Bloods and the Fams and all that stuff, he wants the best for his fucking club, and you can see it. You can see it means a lot to him. So he's probably the only one that I'd look at and go, I'll relate to you a little bit, pal. The rest of them, I just don't get it. I don't get it. DT is a mug, said Revenite. 2-pony race will pip these Arab donkeys, said Sean. Brilliant. Let's protest. Let's hold back the money from Cronky. Yeah, that's it. Don't buy any food. Don't buy any merchandise. Buy your season tickets, but don't go to the game and just sit there and let the empty seats show in the stadium. Basically what Manchester City have been doing for the entire season. They just have to copy that. There you go. Just don't show up. Don't buy anything. Job done. Job done. They've sorted it. DT is going to single-handedly bring down Stan Kroenke with his super intelligence and his charm, wit and determination. So well done, Mr. Double Initials. Clip that and send it to Mark for a laugh. DT deserves it, said the Revenite. He's an absolutely, honestly, 3 laps to the local GAA pitch for your pennant, said Tom Boland. Fuck DT. I like DT. Well, you called him DDT, so I don't know what you mean by that one. But look, you like him. That's completely up to you. I'm sure Arsenal Fan TV is fake. It's too outrageous, said Mickey Friars. I feel bad for the old guy. His blood pressure is through the roof. Is that what's that gentleman's name? I know the guy you're on about. He was wearing a grey jacket today. I just can't think of his name. Yeah, I don't know. I can't think of his name. I'm sure somebody knows who he is. Begins with an M, I think. Is it an M? I don't know. DT looks like he stinks. He's a bully. He's a bully. He's a bully, and that's all he is. He's a big, big bully that would never stand up to anybody his own size, because he's a pussy that just talks down to kids and bullies people. There you go. I can't wait for Wolves to put you in your place. So I gather that was aimed at the Manchester City fans. I guess the theory behind AFTV is they're giving a voice to the supporters, but I suppose I don't really think it is, to be honest. I think the theory behind Arsenal Fan TV is, I think that's the theory behind Arsenal Fan TV. Money. And money and money and money only. From the outside, that's all I see. That's all. I look at Redmen TV, they charge for content, but I see the way they go about their stuff completely different. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I look at Redmen and I've got respect for them, and it's not just because they're Liverpool. It's because the way they go about it is excellent. They make very good stuff. I don't know. And look, have we had some overreactions on all channels outside of the games? Absolutely. But it's constant. It's constant, and it's almost scripted at times. We need to stop giving them money and buying merchandise. Proceeds to renew the season ticket and buy jerseys, said Niall. Yeah, absolutely. If they're looking to find ways of getting to ownership groups and making their point across, look at Liverpool. It was done. There you go. Liverpool fans knew what to do. They went about it the right way. They were clever. Just seeing the incident. It was a penalty. Definitely a penalty, said Joanne. It was. Have I ever been to Croke Park? Yes, Jake, I have, mate. I've played in Croke Park as well when I was younger. Has Genie secretly been our player of the season? Really stepped up, said Ben O'Sullivan. Ben, I think he's been one of our most consistent performers this year, mate. every time he gets increased competition for his place, he seems to lift up his game, doesn't he? So yeah, really good comment, Ben. I don't know if he's quite been player of the season, but certainly in the conversation. Tom Flynn said, I admire Chris Hughton as a manager, and obviously as an Irishman, I love the way he steps up, or he sets up and organises his teams. Could win games 1-0 if they have to. Craig meant if we had beaten Arsenal at the Emirates, we would have been 10 points clear. If we had have beaten Manchester City, we would have been, 13 points clear at this point with a game in hand. That's probably the more important one of the two, buddy, because that would have been a 6-point swing. Gonna give match of the day a miss, said our Leicester City friend. I'm gonna have to give you a shorter nickname, because every time I read your name, I keep going to say LFC by you because of, I suppose, just muscle memory, I suppose is what it is. To be fair, compare Arsenal's owner to our owners and the situation is worlds apart. It is, but we've had shitty owners as well, Cole. I mean, those Cowboys, Hicks and Gillette were shocking. Toffee TV are sound, except that they're blue, said Niall. I've never had any interaction with them. I've never even seen a single second of anything that they've made. So I couldn't possibly comment. It would be really unfair of me to do so. Far Isle said, NBC have spent so little time discussing us, it's shocking. When City or Chelsea or Spurs play, it's 5 minutes. There you go. I mean, fuck 'em. Fuck 'em, Dave. Fuck 'em. First up on match of the day, Jesus, the other games must have been cat. I didn't enjoy today at all, said Skipper Dog. It wasn't great. Troops is calm, said Nathan Carter. Troops was sound when I met him. As I said, yeah, seems like a really down-to-earth fella. On match choice, it's Leicester versus Saints. Jeez, that's shocking. Alpha G's just given us our daily reminder that DT is a nonce. Of course, just reading out comments here. That is, of course, not me calling anybody a nonce. Craig, I'll get my weekly spanner allowance today. I need to tax me Beamer. Tom, it's in the post, mate. Will you take a check? If you take a check, it's on its way to you. AFTV are grown men who act like they're teenagers. Well, I can't really talk down to anybody about acting like kids, because, I have my moments on here myself where I do act like a bit of a child. Can you explain what happened between AFTV and The Sun? They took on some sponsorship from them for something, I believe. I'm trying to think back. It was a couple of seasons ago now. I'm sure that they had some sponsorship on one of their videos, or a segment that they did. Something that they did was sponsored by The Sun. Claude, that's him. Thank you very much. Yeah, as I said, he was just having none of it today, was he? He was having none of it. Now, fuck him. Get the manager out. Fuck him. Now, I can already see it now. I can see it. I don't care if he's only been here 6 months, Robbie. I can see it now. He's Arsene Wenger. He's a puppet. Get rid of him, Robbie. Not really giving him much of a chance there. Craig, you should have a roast battle against DT. The only time I'm battling anything against Mr. Double Initials is inside the boxing ring, as I keep saying. And I'm not saying I want to just go and punch the head off him. I would purely be for charity, of course. But that's the only time he's ever getting in my face, is when I get to dance around him and knock his ass out, because seriously, I don't like that man. I don't like the way he treats people. I don't like the way he speaks to people. I don't like his Instagram videos. I don't like the way he's calling people little kids nonsense. I don't like the way he's bullying them. I don't like the way he's belittling their parents' income levels. He's just one big fucking gobshite that hasn't got the balls to stand up to anybody his own size. Someday I'll eventually talk him around, and we'll do this, and we'll do it properly, and we'll hopefully raise a few quid for some good causes. But that would be something I'd very much look forward to doing. I pay for Red Men in the Anfield Wrap, and it's quality content, said Niall Craig. Mate, I had an Anfield Wrap subscription for many, many, many years. I never ever regretted it once. Amazing content from a great bunch of lads that love the club. And yeah, again, I don't watch much Red Men, so I can't comment, but the few bits I've seen, very good stuff indeed. But I can speak totally about the Anfield Wrap, because they got my £5 a month every month, and I never regretted it once. Brilliant content. If you watch Blood Brothers on YouTube, you'll see what a knobrash DT is. Claude is his name. Thank you, pal. I played in Croker twice, Craig, under 8s. There you go. Mine was with my primary school. I think I was in 5th or 6th class at the time. Stan Kroenke owns an NBA team. He's just as stingy with them as he is with Arsenal, said Alpha G. It's definitely a penalty. All City supporters are only the ones I think it's not. Today's one is pretty clear cut, to be fair. That incident was a stonewaller of a penalty. There was no way it wasn't. The other ones I can understand. I can understand why people would question it. If it was the other way around, I would be exactly the same. Hope Norwich go up so I can see Liverpool again, said Cart 6. I think Genie has been consistent 7.5 all season. Do you have a season ticket to Norwich, Cart, mate? They're going through a good period at the minute, aren't they? They're scoring all the time. Yeah, they're conceding a few as well, but they're right up there and pushing for promotion. DT literally wears his own merchandise. Oh, is that fucking stupid behave thing he had on his head today? That ridiculous looking cap, is that his? Fair enough. Arsenal will never lose to Liverpool. That's a fucking weird comment to make. The team that forever getting their asses handed to them by Liverpool will never lose to Liverpool. Okay, mate, fair enough. Can I just rewind you back a while recently, perhaps? I've no interest in watching other teams' channels, regardless of whom they are. I wouldn't give them my views. Views equals money, said Kev. There you go. I understand that as well, pal. You'll take a check, Tom. Sound. There's a couple of other bits and pieces I wanted to go through, actually. Of course, I'll read through some more of your comments slaughtering DT soon, because it brings a smile to my face. Have you guys seen about Fabinho? You'd seen all the bullshit rumours that were out about him possibly going to Paris Saint-Germain, and he's come out and he's finally spoken about them, and of course he's nonsense them, but it was very interesting to hear what he had to say. He said, I know a lot of things have been written in the newspapers, but it wasn't true. What's funny is that PSG loan story came out just before our Champions League match in November, and I'd already experienced a similar story the day before the final of the Coupe de la Ligue between PSG and Monaco in March 2018. It's a strange coincidence, isn't it? So it couldn't have been any clearer from Fabinho there, calling bullshit and those transfer rumours, and basically saying it was just Paris Saint-Germain whispering into the media to try and destabilise them before a big game. Happens every time you play a Spanish team as well. Look, we knew it was bullshit. His missus, I think, pretty much came out and said it was bullshit as well. So again, 2 fingers up to the French media. So fuck you. There you go. How good was Fabinho? Been so versatile. What a signing, said Recessionizer. Oh, there's an interesting one. Fuck, marry or kill. So we've got DT, Neymar and Pickford. I'm defo marrying Pickford in that situation. I think I'm gonna fuck Neymar because he's a pretty boy and I could make him a bitch. And then what else we got? DT, I'm obviously killing. That goes without saying. I'd love to see Big Sam in charge of this Liverpool team. I think they'd already be over the line, said Harold Steptoe. Of course, if Mr. Gravy Jugs was here, it would all be different. What else have we got? Guys, look, if you're watching and you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button. And of course, drop a like on the stream. I'll be here for about another hour or so. So we've lots of time to go through your comments and any questions or thoughts that you have on today's game. Would he take the boxing match? I very much doubt it. I very much doubt it. Predictions on the United versus Spurs game tomorrow. 2-2 is exactly my comment. Romelu's first touch. That's what I've been saying earlier on as well. I think 2-2 is a good show. I'm expecting a good entertaining game tomorrow, actually. I'm looking forward to watching it. I can imagine Craig dancing around DT. It's amazing and bad at the same time. The difference between me there, and I've said this before, is if I agreed to that, I would bust my ass for the months in between to make sure I was as good as I could possibly be, whereas he'd be busy living it up in the nightclub, turning his hat backwards, calling people nonsense. Koscielny is way better than Djokovic. Sam, mate, I think it's time for you to maybe call your carer and let them know that it's time for you to be picked up, mate, because you're being a bit of an asshole. I'm trying to be polite to you because I don't know if you're a child or not, and I'm not really interacting with trolls lately. So look, I've let you have a few comments, buddy, and you've tried to be funny, and you haven't been, so it's time to say goodnight. Thank you, Nathan, you beat me to it. Great performance today, said Will. Craig, I'd punch DT's lights out, said Stephen Richards. I would pay to watch the pay-per-view of Uncle Fester against Mr. Glorified Housewife, said Boyo 2.0. I'll be full on spray tan, mate. I'm telling you, I'll be spray tan. I have the drawn on abs and everything by the time I went in with the brown paint. What else we got? That was definitely a penalty, said Douglas James. It was, mate. Stonewall penalty today. Not even a little bit about it. JB, how are you? The hard-boiled egg is very well today, sir. Thank you. Okay, a few more of your comments. How did Salah miss that chance, unlike him to miss from 7 yards? I think he was trying to be a little bit too clever and go back to the area the ball came from because the keeper was moving back across. So I think he was just trying to wrong foot the keeper and it just didn't get around the ball enough. It was unfortunate, alright. Usually he buries them. Craig, could you please give every player that started at the Amex for Liverpool a rating out of 10? Jesus Christ, that's a tough one. The keeper, 6, didn't have much to do. Trent, 7. Robbo, 7. 2 centre backs, 7. Henderson, 6. Genie, 6.5. Shaqiri, 6. Mane, 7. Salah, 6. And Firmino, 6. Probably. I think that's probably a guess at them. Yeah, I think that'll probably be about fair. I think we rushed Naby Keita. Fabinho had time, but Keita was rushed, said Andrew Robertson. I think the injuries haven't helped his rhythm. So I think if he can, get a run of games under his belt, I've no worries about Naby Keita. I have to say, I firmly believe he's going to be very, very good for us, but he does have to knuckle down and get back to his best form. Joanne Fisher said, like Anfield Agenda, like Redman TV, like Mage TV, like the Anfield Rap, I think there's no competition between them. If it wasn't for the Redman, I wouldn't be here watching you, Craig. How on earth does that happen? Maybe we were suggested underneath them or something. Maybe that was it. I was going to say, because you definitely didn't hear us mention on there, because I don't think they even know we exist because we're so small in YouTube land. Up the Reds made me happy today, said James Painter. Skipper Dog said, thoughts on getting Werner in and playing Bobby as an attacking midfielder and putting Salah back on the wing? Yes, yes, and more yes, my friend. I think that's spot on. I totally agree. I fully believe Salah's better coming in from the right than he is going through the centre, without a shadow of a doubt. Having that presence of Timo Werner up top would be great. Bobby is getting used to playing in a deeper position. I think you're starting to see him perform a little bit better as every game goes by. So yeah, I absolutely agree with you. And I still think even with that, you'd still have options there. With Shaqiri, you'd have options with Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain to rotate. You have Ryan Brewster coming through as well. So again, still more options there. I'm going to watch the Bournemouth match for my 40th. Have flights and hotel. Need tickets, but we'll get some somewhere. I'll let you know how it goes. Haven't been there since 2010. And Dave, mate, honestly, firstly, whenever your 40th is, congratulations, birthday boy. And I hope you get the ticket sorted out. If you're still struggling a little bit closer to the time or whatever, I'm not saying I can help, but I will certainly give you the shout out on social media, mate, and try and help you in any way I can. But 40th birthday, mate, nice one. I hope you have a wonderful time. Who will make the top 4 at the end of the season? There's so much competition for the last place. It's looking like Chelsea are starting to put a little bit of a gap between themselves and the rest. Yeah, you'd have to make them favourites, wouldn't you? What is there, a 6-point gap now over Arsenal or something like that? We're paid to watch you and DT right into Spurs Stadium. I think the Mo chance just came too quickly, said Zepto Gamer. There is that as well, mate. It's a good shout. Craig, do you think Keita will come into form? Yes, I've no doubts about him. I've no doubts at all. I said earlier on in the week, I think, again, this is just complete guesswork, but I wonder about this whole thing about signing players and then giving them time at the club before they come in. I wonder if they psychologically switch off a little bit, try and protect their bodies and make sure they don't pick up injuries and maybe aren't going a full pelt. And then when they arrive at their new club, perhaps they struggle to get themselves back into that same mindset or level of determination. Or maybe there's nothing in this. Maybe I'm clutching at straws, but I just think that it happens a few times to players. Look at Origi. He did it as well. He was awful when he finished up with where was it before he came here? When he was in France, I can't remember where we got him from in France. Was it Lille? I think it was Lille. He was awful there before he came to us. After we bought him in the summer and loaned him back. Why did Elka back at it again? Said Danny Winters. There you go. I'm here, mate. I'm working my ass off. No dabbing tonight though, Danny, unfortunately. Craig, all my footballs are over my fence. Can I lend you your head as it'd be a cracking size 5? Sure, mate. I'm not sure how long the air will last, but I mean, have at it. Wijnaldum, low-key one of the players of the season, set off a G. Good night, Stephen Richards. I will talk to you very soon. I know I literally just got 2 tattoos in the last 3 weeks, but I want another one till October. I have to get my second sleeve finished. I've been saying it for so long. I just haven't got around to doing it. 7 points, please, said Cody. Craig, don't forget Chelsea versus Arsenal is next weekend. Interesting game, that one, actually. I mean, if Chelsea win that, then, you know, that's a lot. It's a lot. You'd actually probably say United are going to be closer to Chelsea at that point then. Well, it depends how they get on tomorrow against Spurs. Craig, where would you rather go? Signal in Doon Park or the Allianz Arena? Oh, obviously Dortmund's ground. 100%, without a shadow of a doubt. Much prefer to go there to watch a game. I feel like they're much closer to our type of a fan base. And look, I'm not even pretending to know German people or their culture, or they just seem like more like us. And Bayern seem a bit more. October told me they're called Hollywood FC in Germany, so that's not really us, is it? Liverpool are the only club this season to not concede a goal from a header, said Douglas James Horn. Somebody did mention that earlier on, which is an interesting statistic. Do you think there's something in Klopp giving Keita too much adapting time? I don't know, Niall. I'm just guessing like everybody else, but all I can say is I think he'll come good. Whether that's at the end of this season or whether he gets a full pre-season and he's good to go for next year, I don't know, but I've every faith in the young man, I really do. It's with me looking at YouTube after being on Redmen. There you go. Well done, YouTube. Finally, they benefit us somehow, Joanne. Higuain has left Milan going to Chelsea, apparently, Gattuso said. Interesting stuff. It's been a bit of a weird period for him, hasn't it? Leaves Juventus, goes to Milan, and then 6 months there and he's off on loan to Chelsea. Strange. Do you think Ings will return to us? No, I don't. I don't think he will, but I wish him every success with his career because he seems like a really lovely lad. He had an awful time with injuries, and I hope he goes on and plays really well for Southampton and maybe even gets a bigger move at some point. But yeah, look, he's a good lad and I have nothing but good things to say about him. Genie wasn't great today, not hating on him, but he needs to pass the ball forward more. On that, can we have a little chat around our captain today? I thought we seen good and bad from Jordan Henderson today. I'm just trying to pull up my phone because I have a few little bits and pieces. I thought he broke up play very well, which is something I don't think he gets enough credit for at times. He's very good at sticking a foot in or getting himself between the player and the ball. But his passing was a bit hit and miss. He played a beautiful long diagonal pass out to Trent on the right hand side at one point. And everything else was just fairly safe and slow and obvious. But the real problem I had with Jordan Henderson today wasn't his passing so much. It was his lack of awareness when he picks up the ball. There were so many times he picks up the ball and I feel a little glance over his shoulder would let him know that he can turn and move into space, and that would keep us on the front foot. But instead he would automatically play he'd receive the ball with his back to the opposition goal and he'd play the ball back to a defender and move into another position to receive the ball again, rather than just having that glance over his shoulder and, you know, knowing that he can spin into space and keeping us on the front foot. Stuff like that is what can frustrate me with Jordan Henderson. But he does do a lot of really good things as well. I'm not trying to knock him. I just think today, at times, in the first half in particular, it was all too obvious and it was just too easy. Alpha G said Henderson was fine. Ferno said he was okay in the second half. Genie wasn't great. He took the risk with his passing. He never took the risk. Hendo losing possession and passing the ball backwards. Also, Trent was poor. To be fair with Trent today, we have to give Trent a break. He picked up an injury before the game and they didn't think he was going to be able to play, so he battled through, and I think we've got to give him a break on today's one. Mainz is a brilliant club as well. Any club Klopp likes, I like, said LFC_5. Liam Granby is in. How are you, buddy? Said hello, Craig, mate. How's tricks? Top of the league. Liverpool top of the league. How brilliant was Fabinho today? My man of the match for someone that's not centre half. He made it look so easy. He did, Liam. He made it look really easy because he's just so clever in the way he positions himself and his reading of the game. He's just defensively top notch. It would have been nice to have him a little bit further forward though. I feel we probably would have been on the front foot a bit more, but you know, needs must and all that, and I thought he was very, very good. Respect to, oh god, is that what this guy's name, Blasikoski, who's on the verge of joining his boyhood club Wisla Krakow without pay, and has assisted them financially to help revive the Polish side. So absolutely, well done to him. Well done to him indeed. Arnold needed a strapping and painkillers before the game today due to an ankle knock. Hope he'll be okay, said Senior Flamo. Putting Millie in for Shaqiri was not the sub I was looking for. Would have preferred moving Gino and Yaldum off the pitch, to be honest, till October. For me, the first sub I wanted was getting Shaqiri off the pitch immediately. That was the first sub I wanted today, because I thought today was not one of Sheridan Shaqiri's better games for the Reds. Does Robertson ever get tired? His work rate is off the scale. It doesn't look like it, but I'm sure he does. Of course he must, but his fitness is tremendous, you're right. Trent made a good defensive header towards the end. Again, look, I'm not the one knocking Trent, I'm defending him here. I just think we have to allow for the injury he had today. Rod is from Australia, by the way, Nathan. Craig, would you rather go to the Wanda Metropolitano or the Santiago Bernabeu? Metropolitano, although I couldn't be arsed really going to either, unless we're going for the final of the Champions League this year, of course. But yeah, probably at Letty's ground. Although I've been to the new camp and it was stunning. I've always said the fans who go to the match should decide what to think of manager and owners, and that is where Arsenal should start. Banners and songs. Skipper Dog said some are target positions: left back, a young backup, forward and an attacking mid. I think maybe a centre half if Matip or Lovren leaves. Again, mate, I think we're on the same wavelength. I agree with everything you've said there, but I would push a little bit more in that I'd say I would move on one of Matip and Lovren without a shadow of a doubt, because their injuries are ridiculous. That's just, for me, we just can't rely on them. Was it true that Fekir had an interview with LFC in an LFC shirt? Yes, he did. There was images doing the round in the summer. I'm sure did you not see them? He definitely did his interview with the club anyway. He's welcome to the club, and I think. Who scored? Ratings say Henderson is having a terrible season. Look, I'm not somebody who relies too much on statistics. Yes, they can be useful, but only if you're somebody who is knowledgeable enough to know how to use statistics in the correct way, and that isn't me. So I use them a little bit when people give them to me for the very basic stats. Other than that, I try to use my own judgment on the game. I've been around the game long enough that I think I've got a pretty good grasp on things, but yeah, look, I don't, again, I judge players myself. I don't really take other people's opinions too much on board unless, you know, we're having a chat about them. But Henderson isn't having a great season, I think that's fair to say, but he hasn't been the worst in the world either. I don't know how to pronounce your name, buddy. Is it Ike? Said Henderson actually played well today, even though others aren't admitting it. I feel like maybe people think that this is one of them channels that's very anti-Jordan Henderson. We aren't, to be fair, we really aren't. I just don't think he played that well today, nor did many of the team, so I'm not really trying to just have a go at him. Shaqiri was shocking. Can you keep us updated on Trent? Is he might be out, or is he okay? Again, he's going to have to be assessed, I think Jurgen Klopp said in his post-match interview, Scotty, so I suppose we'll just wait and hear on that one. But yes, of course, I'll try and keep you up to date. How do you think VAR will do next season? Said John. It's interesting, mate, isn't it? My lack of affection for Premier League referees is quite well known on here at this point, and given those dummies access to VAR, it doesn't fill me full of confidence, if I'm being honest. There's a couple of things about VAR, and I spoke about them the other day, that I'm unsure of. Was the ball over the line or not? When it comes to that technology, that's all sound. You can't argue with that. But for things like the offside, the Harry Kane incident that led to the penalty, you have Chelsea showing us one angle, you've got VAR using another angle, but even going by either of those angles, 1 millisecond of the release of the pass, either way, can make a player on or offside. So for me, it's so hard to judge when the correct time that the ball leaves the passing player's foot to play in the forward. It's just something that I think it's very, very difficult to judge properly, and that's what gets me about VAR. Some of this stuff can be so minute when you're talking about a goal scoring part of the body on or offside. 1 millisecond of a difference between when the ball leaves the player's foot and you can be on or off. Then you've got other things as well to take into consideration. You've got people getting used to the times, maybe not looking at things in slow motion, particularly handballs, because they always look bad in slow motion. So there's some pluses to it. Actually, there's quite a lot of pluses to it, but there's a lot of negatives as well that need to be worked out. If you get more positive outcomes than negative outcomes, then it will probably be a good thing. But there's going to be some shockers when it starts getting introduced. I think we've seen that in most leagues around Europe that have used it. When it originally comes in, there are some ridiculous decisions. I mean, what league was it? Was it Italy or France? Where a team was actually sitting in the dressing room at half time and the referee made them come back out for a penalty. I mean, it's absolutely scandalous. Any centre back you think we could consider signing this window? I don't think it's going to happen, Cody. Unfortunately, mate, we've got our centre backs coming back to fitness now. Matip is back. Gomez is a week or so away, and Lovren probably another week behind him at the most. So we don't really have much of a problem with regards to bodies anymore. But like you, I would still like an upgrade in the summer. Did you see Salah going to the corner before getting taken off to waste as much time as possible? Something we've lacked in ages. Well done to him. Although that will become mute next season because they're looking at bringing in a law that said when you're substituted, you leave the field at the nearest possible point of exit. So if you're over the far side and we're looking to make a substitution, you go off the field closest to wherever the line of the field is. So you don't have to come all the way back over. So they're looking to change that one to stop time wasting. I think it's up for discussion actually. There's a crowd that meets every few months to discuss rule changes in football, and that's one of the rules that's up for debate. Hi Craig, Simon Mignolet is very underrated. What do you think? I wouldn't agree that he's underrated. Is my reserved opinion on Simon Mignolet. I don't think he's good enough, but look, we don't have to put up with him too much, so there you go. Actually, you know what, look, he's shit. I'll be honest, I think he's shit. Look at the fake Arsenal fan TV account. Heard you talking smack about us. Smack. Were we in 1970 here? You talking you jav ass turkey. You over here talking about us. These trick ass hoes. Oh, talking smack. Thoughts on Babel going to Fulham on loan? Is the Babelcopter included? Is he coming in the Babelcopter? Because if he's coming in the Babelcopter, then it's all good. He really resurrected his career, didn't he, when he went to Turkey? Al Babel. It'd be interesting to see him come back. Right. Okay, too many comments about that. I'm trying to scroll through. Liam Granby said, I agree, mate. We do miss him in midfield, but hopefully he'll be back next week. What do you think about taking Gini out for a few games and bringing in Keita? It's tough, isn't it? I mean, yeah, I like the idea of rotating between any of those. You've got Henderson, you've got Milner, you've got Gini, you've got Keita. I would say you've got Lallana, but he's injured again at the minute, so yeah, I don't mind any of them being rotated, but I just want Fabinho playing more. From here on out, once we get the centre-back sorted, I want to see Fabinho in the six pretty much every game between now and the end of the season, because I think he just gives us more. He's much better at stepping forward than Jordan Henderson. Maybe because he's naturally a more defensively minded player, I don't know. And Henderson was kind of shoehorned into that position a little bit. Kev, talk to you soon, pal. Match of the day was shite, said Sean Anthony. There you go. We didn't miss much, so. Time wasting is part of football, in my opinion, said Niall. It is, but it's something that they are looking to cut out on because, some teams are just too damn good at it. Going forward, I think they'll have a sensor in players' jersey and just use GPS to see if it's offside. Another interesting point, but again, it's when the ball is released from the attacking players passing that for me is the very important part of all this that you have to get right. Mignolet better than De Gea. Uh, you know what, Craig? It was scrappy. We had loads of possession, but we got that 1-0, and I take a scrappy 1-0 win every week if it meant us getting them 3 points. Willow, I'm completely with you, pal. Nothing wrong with a scrappy 1-0. Leagues are won off the back of scrappy 1-0, pal. And these scrappy 1-0s would have been scrappier 1-1 draws for us a couple of seasons ago. So I'm absolutely with you. I kind of wish they'd just stop the clock when the ball is not in play. Stoppage can add excitement, but it's ripe for manipulation by players and officials. Yeah, look, there is that as well. I mean, what is it? The average actual game time is about 60 minutes where the ball's in play, I think, in football. I think it's around 60 minutes. Again, somebody please do correct me if I'm off on that one, but from what my memory remembers, I think it's about 62 minutes, something like that, of actual play time. Put some respect on Miggs, Craig. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't like Simon Mignolet. I've always been open about that. But I've said this season that the support that he's shown the squad on social media in particular has been very, very good, very professional. For someone who's not playing and wants to move, you know, he's been quite professional about it. So I hope he does get his move in the summer and he goes and gets some more game time, because that's all he seems to want, and you can't slag off a player for wanting to play. What do you think about Fernando Torres? How do I... It hurt when he left. I think we actually got rid of him at the right time, funnily enough. I really loved him when he came in. I mean, from his introduction where he skinned the Chelsea defence and blasted one in, left him for dead. We've seen the best of Fernando Torres at Liverpool Football Club, and it was a joy to behold and a joy to watch. He left the club at a time where we were not in a good place, and his talent probably deserved to be playing at the highest level. The fact that he went to Chelsea hurt. It really hurt. I think he, deep down, probably, I won't say regrets the decision, because, you know, he won trophies there. Yeah, it's tough. It is tough. I'd struggle to really hate Fernando Torres, if I'm being honest. When he was here, I thought he was exceptional. My lineup for Palace said Origi, Alisson, Robertson, Virgil, Matip, Milner, Fabinho, Wijnaldum, Keita, Mane, Salah, Firmino. Looking at the midfield, hang on. Sorry guys for going quiet, I'm just trying to read through this team here. Yeah, that's if you're resting Trent because he's injured and putting Milner in, then yeah, that looks good to me. Not sure if it was Klopp or Salah, but the way Salah came into the field and controlled the game was a good sign, said Brent. Yeah, we touched on that one earlier on. It's a really good point that somebody made. He looked very good when he came deep, and the link-up play between himself, Firmino and Mane, but I think more Firmino was very good indeed. They have a good understanding, those two. Yeah, so yeah, I would be interested to know though, Brent, who it was, whether it was the player himself or Klopp. I would probably say it was Klopp, but and the reason I say I think it was Klopp, not because I don't think he has the game intelligence, but because he would really be moving out of position if it wasn't down to Klopp, and I think Klopp would probably been having words with him about it. I think people overlook the fact that Brighton's an incredibly good defensive team with a shit attack. We got through it, and that's all that matters to me. Rod, mate, I'm with you. I mean, everybody was nervous going into this game because people know going to the Amex, it can be difficult because Brighton fight for absolutely everything. And Chris Hughton has them very well drilled, and I kept saying that throughout the game today, that we were struggling looking for space because we were passing it round and Brighton just weren't giving it to us because they were very well drilled. Talking smack is a phrase in Liverpool. Haven't you heard it before? Yes, mate. I heard it back in 1970 when it was actually a phrase. Talking smack is it. Maybe we just don't use it as much in Ireland. Maybe we can just leave it at that. Usually you say talking shy. Exactly. You're talking shy. You're talking out your hoop. You're just talking nonsense, gobbledygook, whatever you want to say. But talking smack is it's either something that you use in the WWE or from the 1970s. Don't think Hendo and Wijnaldum should play together in midfield, said Cody. I say talking smack, and I've heard loads of people say it. You're getting very much offended by this for some reason, pal. I don't really know why you're making such a big deal out of it. If you say it, then well done to you. Enjoy it. I say a lot of stuff that a lot of people probably don't say, like tickety boo and ahoy hoy when I answer a telephone. Do you think if we beat Leicester, Puel gets sacked? Probably best to ask our Leicester friend, Douglas James, when he comes back in. LCFC Boya is probably the best guy to ask, and he's usually in the chat, but I think he headed off earlier on. It's been a weird out season for Leicester, hasn't it? A little bit of ups, a little bit of downs, some good results, and then a few shitty ones. Did anybody see, actually, I don't know if you guys missed on this, or maybe you talked about it in the chat and I missed it, but apparently in the summer Chelsea triggered Oblak's £90 million release clause in his Atleti contract, but he just had no interest in talking to them or anybody because he didn't want to leave Atletico Madrid in the summer. So they were willing to pay 90 million for Jan Oblak in the summer, which is interesting stuff. I also read somewhere today that Chelsea's owner, I think he loaned them another 116 million recently, so 116 million, which means that they now owe Roman Abramovich personally, and I'm not talking about what he bought the club for, they owe him over £1.1 billion now. So it's what I said before about these oligarchs and these rich guys that own clubs. If Roman Abramovich called in his debt to Chelsea Football Club on top of the value of the club, they could be up shit creek. And this is why I always worry about those types of owners. He loaned the club £1.1 billion in loans. Not what he bought the club for, not what he's invested in stadiums or whatever, what he has fucking loaned the club. Wayne Shaw or Mignolet. Mignolet maybe, I don't know. I'd love Felipe Anderson at Liverpool. What a player, said Furno. Yeah, he's having a really good debut season in the Premier League, isn't he? And I remember a lot of shouts from him in the summer from fans of all clubs. But West Ham put the hand in their pocket, as we said, and they're reaping the rewards at the minute from. October said, Klopp said at the beginning of the season, it's not about winning 5-0 one time, it's about winning 1-0 5 times. Spot on. I think you meant to say check, but you can't spell Arsenal Fan TV, so you literally wrote the word check as in CHECK. Is better than Alisson. Okay, mate. Yeah, he's much better. That's why Arsenal are trying to get rid of him, because he's much better than Brazil's #1 keeper. Good man. Keep smoking whatever you're on. What are they smoking down there at the Emirates? To quote John W. Henry. I don't think about Fernando Torres, to be honest. He made my little sister cry and he's dead to me for that, said October. There you go. I don't blame you. If you made your little sister cry, then fuck him. Hey Craig, if I missed anything, can you also shout out my fan page, Arsenal_vibes? Is it a YouTube page, Tom? If it is, then yeah, happy to. As you can see in the chat, Tom and a Liverpool fan page, Arsenal_vibes. No, rewind back. It's definitely not Arsenal. That Arsenal Fan TV thing is in my head now. Anfield_vibes. Excuse me, Tom. A new channel started by Tom there, so check it out. Anfield_vibes. Another fan channel. Check it out. And I hope it goes well for you, Tom. I really do, pal. I know how hard it can be to get things moving on here and how much work you've got to put in, buddy. So best of luck to you with it. My first football shirt was a Torres one at Alpha G. I loved him. I really loved El Nino when he was here. Do you remember the who was it made the video or the ad for Torres, the one with the bull and all that stuff? Oh God, I can't remember what it was for. I can't remember what it was for. There was a magnificent ad or video made about him. Somebody will remember it in the chat. Don't blame anybody for moving on. Torres went to one of our rivals and talked loads of smack. There you go. Look, talking smack. There you go. LFC_5 October's using your phrase as well. He earned that elbow to the face. Every time I think I've caught up with the chat, I realise that I'm actually miles behind and I'm in a bit of an idiot that needs to get his finger out of his ass. Right, where are we? I'm trying to catch back up. KKK. KKK, that's a weird one. Me saying that when I meant okay, not KKK. I'm with you on that one, mate. We look a lot better with Fabinho in the 6 and seeing Adam Lallana going in the summer. I think he's going to go in the summer as well, to be honest. People are saying David Silva is the best Spanish player ever to play in the Premier League. Are they joking? Xabi Alonso was one of the best excuse me, midfielders in the world. Do you know what? I always, as much as I love Xabi Alonso, I would agree that David Silva has been a better player in the Premier League than Xabi Alonso, I have to say. I think people forget that there was a period that Alonso wasn't quite as good as he could be for Liverpool, and I think if you're talking about longevity and consistency of performance, being fair as a football fan here, I would say that I think David Silva is probably a better player in the Premier League than Xabi Alonso was. As a footballer, I think Xabi Alonso was a better footballer, but you know, he did his better work at the start of his Liverpool career, during his time at Real Madrid, and then of course at Bayern Munich. But I have to agree that I think Silva's probably been better for a Spanish reference in the Premier League. Watching match of the day now. Keep going, Craig, said Dave Serene. Thank you very much, mate. I mean, as long as I've got the go ahead for me to keep ticking along. A nice 7-day rest now for the Reds to prepare for Palace, said Gary. Sarri is a fraud, said Sean Anthony. There you go. I usually say talking bollocks, Craig, or give your head a wobble. Again, give your head a wobble. That's definitely something I've seen a lot of scousers say. I'm going to say ahoy hoy when I answer the phone now, said October. There you go. I robbed that off Mr. Burns and The Simpsons many moons ago, and I've been saying it ever since. Every time Connor and I answer the phone to each other, that's what we say. Craig, do you say top of the morning to you, lady? I don't. I'm not a leprechaun, mate. That's not the type of lingo that I usually portray. I don't say talking smack, but now I love it, said Floating Fox. There you go, it's catching on, mate. It's catching on. Do you remember Milan Baros? Of course I do. Of course I remember Milan Baros. Another frustrating player, actually, if I'm being honest. Right, guys, where are we? We're at 11:15, so about half an hour to go on tonight's stream, so loads of time. If you're watching, you haven't yet subscribed, we're ticking along nicely. If you could hit that button and make those numbers roll around, that would be brilliant. Also, if you could drop a like on the stream for me, that would be class. I'm a scout, I live here in Liverpool. I've never heard anyone in the world say talking smack. People say chatting shit in Liverpool, said Liam. Don't forget the Leicester helicopter incident, which must have shaken the people at the club. R.I.P. Vishai, said Keane. Absolutely, mate. None of us can underestimate the toll that must have had on the club. I can't even fathom what everybody there must have gone through during that time. So very well brought up, Keane. When we're talking about Leicester, we should be taking that into account. Higuain is leaving AC Milan. Somebody said he's coming over to go to Chelsea, so there you go. Abramovich is a rich mofo. He most certainly is. Imagine being in debt to the fucker who owns your club. I thought owners lending the club's money was allowed to be used for things such as stadium upgrades, not such as players. I don't know what he loaned the club the money for, John, so probably not fair for me to just cast aspersions, but maybe some of this was for improvements. Maybe it was for the training ground at Cobham to be done better. I don't know. But whatever it was for, I'm sure it was completely above board. And if they know that the money's owed to them, then obviously it's been done correctly. Now, we also have to say that a lot of this would have been put in before this rules or FFP even came in. So when he came into the club at first, you know, he poured money in there, was buying a shit ton of players. And this was all before FFP and stuff start coming into the game, so maybe a lot of it's from that time as well. Chelsea love 6-foot overrated ex-Real Madrid strikers, don't they? Said Alpha G. Douglas James Horn said, I'd like Donnarumma as a backup to Alisson. I don't think he's going to want to come and go anywhere as a backup, to be fair. He's only, 19, 20 years of age. Not going to want to start being a backup keeper at this point of his career. Mignolet should start as a striker. Salah's overrated. I'll give up. Give up. Ahoy is Czech for hello. So there you go, said the boulder. We've learned a little bit today. And now, can I call myself bilingual or multilingual now? Now that I'm speaking Czech as well, apparently. Ahoy hoy. Suarez or Torres? Suarez for me, Glenn. Suarez, I absolutely, still to this day, idolise. Love the guy. Love everything about him. Love his snidiness. Love his hunger in the games. Yeah, I still have a soft spot for Luis Suarez, I have to say. Christ, did we not annihilate Arsenal recently again, as we have at Anfield? They just, I don't know, just give up. Why was Arsenal Fan TV unhidden? Can somebody tell me that one? Can we hide them back again? Because I couldn't be arsed listening to their shite. Yeah, there you go. October's already hit them. Well done. Thank you, October. Higuain is Morata and Giroud in one. That would be funny if Chelsea got him. Well, it looks like they were going to, by the looks of things. Sort your head out is another scout slang for you, said Liam. I've heard that one as well, to be fair. Love from Afghanistan, mate. Love right back to you. Thank you so much for popping in and saying hello. Is it Farouz? Again, if I mispronounce your name, I sincerely apologise, mate. But thank you for dropping in and saying hello. Great to have you with us. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button, buddy, as well. But honestly, Afghanistan, I mean, it blows my mind to see where people, you know, find the channel from or come in and say hello to us. And most importantly, where Liverpool fans stretch to. Literally every fucking part of the world. So, welcome, buddy, and thank you for joining us. How many points are we ahead of Manchester City now? 7, but they have a game in hand. So if they win on Monday, that'll be back down to 4. Soft lad. That's defo another one. Definitely. I've heard that one so many times. I hope we meet Barca in the Champions League so we can sing the Luis Suarez song at Anfield. To see him at Anfield would be brilliant. Be even better when we knock them out. Nathan, buddy, talk to you soon. 160 watching, only 81 likes, said October. Get on it, guys. Look, yeah, we always try and hit 100 likes on a stream, guys. So if you haven't hit that like button, as October said, if there's 160 of you watching, if 19 more of you could hit that button, that would be great. And of course, if there's anyone that hasn't subscribed, you know what to do as well. You know we love you. Scran is my food. Scran, I absolutely know that one, mate. I've heard that one as well. I'm playing in Milan Baros and Tomasz Rosický's junior team in the Czech Republic, and hopefully I'll get into the Bundesliga before making it to Liverpool. I hope you do, mate. Sincerely. I'd love to hear a success story. I'd love for you to say hello to us in a few years' time if your league or your career has progressed. So best of luck to you. Keep your head down. Keep working hard, mate, and I wish you every success. Brighton had no shots on target, said Jeff. Zippity doo dah, none. What else have we got? Ahoy hoy is what Alexander Graham Bell first used. There you go. Before hello became common. Again, I've learned something new today, Dave. Thank you. Trabs is trainers. Now that I did not know. Willow, thank you. Liverpool till the day I die. Grew up there. A few days of Liverpool's golden generation. John Barnes and Fowler. Yes, I absolutely love Digger. Loved him and Robbie Fowler. Robbie Fowler is my favourite Liverpool player of all time. Idolise the man. Would you take a player like Messi or Suarez in their last season before they retire? I mean, I don't think, could you ever say no to Messi even if it was his last season? Suarez I don't want to see back at the club, if I'm being honest. I have my memories of him here and they're always going to be there, so no, I wouldn't take him. But Messi is, you know, you're talking about the GOAT, like, so yes. I reckon Demarai Gray would be a good addition as backup to Mane. I don't know, Jay, has he not been a bit hit and miss, buddy, this season? I would have expected a bit more from Demarai Gray, but look, maybe you've seen something in him that I haven't, and that is absolutely likely. Have you ever heard Chaka? Because every scout said it in the last, at least every sentence. Chaka as in like full of, as in like crammed, or that Chaka? Is that what you mean? Thorgan Hazard, is he coming? No, he is going to probably go to Borussia Dortmund. They're looking to bring him in as a replacement for the outgoing Christian Pulisic, and they're talking somewhere around 35 million. But they have time to get that done because Pulisic isn't going until the summer, so that's probably when they're going to look to bring in Thorgan Hazard. Thorgan Hazard has come out and said that he's spoken to the club and let them know that he's happy where he is for the time being and that he doesn't really want to move in this window. So yeah, I don't think he's going to move at the moment, but you know, maybe in the summer, but probably not to here. Chilwell at Leicester would be good backup for Robbo. Yeah, we were close to pulling the trigger on Ben Chilwell a while ago. Would he want to come in and be a backup though? That's the thing. He's progressed his career a little bit. Tom said the Anfield Vibes account is on Instagram. Sorry mate, I thought you said on here earlier on. So yeah, look, apologies, it's not on here. If you're on Instagram, there you go. Anfield Vibes account. Apologies mate, I made a mess of that earlier on. Maybe I was just assuming. But yeah, Anfield_Vibes on Instagram. Give him a check, give him a follow. I'm not on Instagram, we are, but I'm not, but please do give him a follow. And as I said, if any of you guys have Instagram accounts, Twitter accounts, or you ever want to plug them, feel free to put it in the chat. We'd like you guys to all get to know each other as well, and you know, knowing each other on social media can only help. Douglas James Horn said BT Sport announced their best Premier League 11. Reina, Robbo, Van Dijk, Carragher, Trent, Alonso, Mascherano, Gerrard, McManaman, Suarez and Salah. Fuck me, that's a nice looking team. Thank you very much mate for the super chat. That is a delicious looking team. Reina, Robbo, Van Dijk, Carragher, Trent, Alonso, Mascherano. Oh, I'm almost drooling reading that out. McManaman. And I think some people forget just how good a footballer Steve McManaman was. At times he nearly carried the Liverpool team. He was that good. That would be unbelievable. I mean, that team wins a league hands down. That team goes invincible probably if they get their heads screwed on. Wow, what an 11 that is. Ale House is pure chaka, yeah, as in full. So I was right. They did get it right. Gareth Southgate being considered for the United job. Somebody mentioned that earlier on, John. I thought they were winding me up. Do you know what though? That makes sense. I mean, people might think I'm absolutely nuts, but there is some rhyme or reason to that. I don't know how United fans would feel about it, but interesting. Don't think it will happen, but interesting stuff. We don't sign backup players, said Jeff, which is a damn good point, mate. And we shouldn't be looking to, you're right, we should be looking to sign challengers. And maybe I picked that one up completely wrong. And maybe it was me that should have looked at that differently, Jeff. Chilwell's too good for backup, said Ferno. To go from Mönchengladbach to Dortmund, said October. Is that October? I'm unaware. Is there something there? Do they hate each other or something? Messi is the gold standard of football players. He's like a once in a generation guy. A great example to any young person coming into the game. As I always say, if Neymar had Messi's attitude on a field, I'm not talking about his work rate. I'm more talking about getting kicked, getting back up and getting on with the game. He could be a fantastic player, but he doesn't. He spends more time rolling around on the ground, whereas Messi just pops back up and gets on with it. Gets kicked, gets up, gets on with it. And that's why he's the greatest of all time, in my opinion. Where's Steve Finnan? I think, isn't he working in a property management company or something, or with his brother, I think. They did look for him when they were doing that 2005 reunion, and that's my memory of it, but I could be wrong. Those wind and runs, they were boss from Macca. Yeah, look, again, another player who didn't leave the club in the greatest way, but while he was here, was fantastic. Thanks for being such a legend and going through all the questions, Craig. Good on you. My pleasure, Cody. That's what the show is about. This is your show, as I keep saying. I get through as many of these as I can, and I appreciate everyone taking the time to come on and share their thoughts. So no need to thank me, buddy. I'll be thanking you guys just as much. Which manager is better, Shankly or Klopp? That's an unanswerable question, and right now you would say Bill Shankly, but like, I mean, we don't know what the future holds for Jurgen Klopp. But Bill Shankly is the man that put this club on the map, so for that it will probably always be Shankly. Although Bob Paisley was a damn fine manager. People forget Macca was such a great player because they can't stand his punditry. I've actually met Steve McManaman on a couple of occasions. I have to say he's a really nice guy. Now, one of those occasions was just a very brief hello, and the other one I had a couple of seconds to chat, well, a minute or two to chat with him. And he was very polite and very nice. So, again, I like the guy. I do. His punditry isn't great, to be fair. I'm not a fan of him on BT, but as a footballer and getting to meet him once or twice, nothing but respect for the man. What's your match of the day? Vardy with a blatant dive. Will he get the abuse Mo gets? I don't think so. No, David, he will not, mate. You're right, he absolutely won't. Couple of reasons there. One, he's English, and two, he's not very relevant when it comes to the top of the league at the moment. I mean, the dude won a Premier League, so you know what I mean with that one. But right now, where they are, it's not big news. What else have we got? I'm undercover for transfers, said Jordan Ford. There you go. And if you found that out, mate, let me know. I'm a transfer hound. I love a transfer story. So if you've got that in Jordan, mate, whack it in the chat there and let us know. To be fair, I think Voronin deserves to be in the team. Oh, there we go. Voronin, huh? Chuck Norris himself. What's your opinion about the FA Cup? Is it the right decision for Klopp? I think it was needs must. Any other season, you could probably have a little pop at Klopp for what he did with the team for the FA Cup, but this year and the position that we're in, everything, all our thoughts, all our focus, everything has to go into winning this league title. It's been 29 years since this fantastic club won a top league title, like a top division English title, so it's too long, and I can understand why he did it. He probably thought that the team that he put out was good enough to win. Actually, I fully believe that one, actually, but we are where we are, mate, and it's tough, but there you go. I wouldn't say they hate each other, but I've never seen the fans be friendly to one another. There you go. Thank you much, Halber. I'm learning all the time. Ryan Babel to Fulham, said Anthony. Somebody mentioned that one earlier on. The Babel copter. Is it coming out? Is it coming out of retirement? Excuse me. Voice is going. It's been a long day again. What have I did? About 2.5 hours earlier on, and then an hour and a bit so far. So my voice is starting to wear down, but we've got 15 minutes or so left. You're going to hear a now for a can opening, so bear with me. You know what it is. It's a diet chav. Why are we building players for Barca? Are we? We've got two, mate. Two that in recent memory that have gone there, so don't think we're really building for them. Just my thought though. And they've given us ridiculous money for Coutinho as well. Do you listen to any boxing podcasts? Can I recommend The Asylum? No, but I'd love to, Jeff, because as you probably know, I'm a big boxing fan, but I never really put the podcasting thing to boxing. But I will try my best to check that one out, Jeff. Thank you. Higuain confirmed as leaving by Gattuso, said Anthony Peters. Australian Scouts was called the Pub Hotel, probably because they stay forever. Neymar spent 14 minutes on the ground in total in the World Cup. Ask yourself this: why would United want Southgate? Other nonsense rumours, and congrats on the win today. You're hanging in there, said Bjorn Lundberg. Yeah, I get you, but at the same time, he could be a steady hand. Didn't he play at United earlier on in his career as well? I think he did, didn't he? And when you're looking at a club like United, a club of that stature, you need a manager who has some stature, and managing the English national team has probably given him a little bit of that. He probably seen as a steady hand as well. Like you, Bjorn, I don't think it's going to happen. I really don't think it's going to happen. I think United will go bigger. I think Pochettino is probably going to be the United manager. If I'm being honest, I think they'll get him out of there somehow. McManaman went on a free and lots of Pool fans were pissed, but he won 2 Champions Leagues with Madrid and more than played his part in them as well. Like, he wasn't just there for them. He literally really helped Madrid on those 2 Champions Leagues. If Barcelona wanted to buy Markovic, Jones and Camacho, it would cost them 305 million, said Origi. Craig, if you could choose any player in the world on a free transfer to Liverpool today in any position, who would it be? Ooh, that's a belter of a question. Kylian Mbappe, please. I'll take him there. Thank you very much. Because he's so young. He's pretty much in a position that we need, and I would love to see him in a red shirt. I really would. But who would you have, mate? Who would you take, senior or flame? I'd love to know your answer. And of course, if anybody else has an answer, please do put it in the chat. Guys, we have 15 minutes or so to go on tonight's stream. We are 6 subscribers away from 7,325. So if anyone's watching and you haven't yet subscribed, please do hit that button. Okay, where else? Sessignon would do nicely as well, Keane. Yeah, that would be great. I think he's going to move in the summer. He wanted to have a season with Fulham to see if you could keep them up, and because they're the club that he went through his young career with. He's been linked to Spurs and he's been linked to Liverpool. So let's wait and see what happens there. That would be a very fine move though for Liverpool to bring in Sessignon. That would make a lot of sense. VVD voted Premier League Player of the Month, and Kloppo was voted Premier League Manager of the Month as well. When was the last time a defender won it before him? That's his second time winning it, Andre. But before him, it was, somebody told me this before, it was a fair few years ago. I can't remember who it was. I think Connor did tell me though who it was. What's your best signings in January? Players we bought. Mine is Van Dijk. Van Dijk or Suarez. Jordan Suarez was a damn fine January signing as well. Coutinho, we had Sturridge in January as well, if memory serves correct. Craig, do you see it as a coincidence that we're having a huge title challenge on the 30th anniversary of Hillsborough? Yes, in all honesty, I do. I mean, it's a beautiful coincidence that it's happening on the 30th anniversary, but it is just that, I would say, unfortunately. For some reason, I used to love Milan Baros and Cisse when I was younger. I spent a good half an hour with Djibril Cisse actually one evening. We were at one of the 5 times X-Player shows, and we had time to interview them and get some stuff signed. And we had about half an hour, 25 minutes, half an hour with Djibril Cisse, Luis Garcia, Didi Hamann and Vladimir Smicer. And Cisse was lovely, really, really nice, friendly guy. What else we got? That's a delicious sound, I must say. What sound is that? Oh, the can opening. I think that's what you must mean. Yeah, sorry. You think automatically, do you think of beer though when you hear a can cracking open? Because even though I'm not a drinker, I do think of a can of beer when I hear the clunk or the clunk click. Is it a clunk click? 3 points, thank Christ it worked out. We need a number 10 who can unlock defensive teams and come up against 2 or 3 signings. Get rid of 6 or 7. Lallana, Sturridge, Origi, Moreno, Markovic and Grujic. Oh, I don't know about Grujic though, Andrew. He's doing bits over in Germany. I don't know, I think you might see Marco Grujic come back to the club. But the rest of them I agree with. Anfield Bright number 9 said his Instagram fan page is at Anfield RD, so for road, so at Anfield RD.96. And of course the Anfield Agenda Instagram account is just at Anfield Agenda, and the Twitter account is the same. If you're on Twitter, it's just Anfield Agenda or at Anfield Agenda. My own personal Twitter account is at Craig the Host, if anybody's on there. So I'll stick it in the chat just in case anybody wants to give this dumb Irish idiot a follow. I'm on a bit of a Twitter break at the minute actually. So there you go. Mine's gone into the chat there. At least I thought it was going into the chat. There it is. Now it's gone in. I'm opening a bottle of Pepsi. All you can hear is tss. Yeah, I've had that sound quite a lot. Craig, name your best 11 of all time. That is way too much thinking to do in the last 7 or 8 minutes of the stream, mate. I'll try and remember to scribble it down though and see if I can think of it for the next one. Are we talking Liverpool related or non-Liverpool related, mate? I need to know that one before I go and have a think about it. Rumours that United wanted Southgate as a player when Rio got a drugs ban. However, nothing came of it. Thank you, Anthony. Maxi Rodriguez was a great signing for us in January. I forgot about young Maxi. Absolutely. That was a good piece of business in January. I really liked him when he was here. Harry Wilson's a better option than Lallana in the current Liverpool squad, especially for next season, said Tommy. And you know what, mate? I'd agree, but I also don't think Wilson will be here. It's a tough one, and he can't do much more than he's doing. I just have a feeling it just won't work out for him at the minute. Yeah, that's tough to say though, because I mean he's having such a good season, but he's having a good season at Derby County in the Championship. It's another step up, so maybe a loan in the Premier League next year to really see what he can do. But I'm sure Klopp will give him time in pre-season to see if he can convince him. Craig, we're linked with every player in the world at some point. We're linked with Messi on loan. I wish we were. I mean, I'd love that headline to come out. Grujic would be similar to Shaqiri. In what sense? I don't understand. They play in a different position. City will now have to sleep 2 nights with 7 points at the top. In contrast, Liverpool will have a week of rest. City will feel massive pressure for the game against Wolves. Any Irish player would love to watch an Irish player. Maybe Rice when West Ham scored today. Come on, Kelleher. I really want Kevin Kelleher to get promoted into the backup goalkeeper position in the summer if Simon Mignolet leaves. And you're right, we are a bit of a freak for supporting our own, aren't we? Thanks, Craig, you legend, absolute boss. My pleasure. Anfield Bryant, mate. Or buy it, excuse me. My pleasure. Higuain's apparently leaving AC Milan. Looks like he's gone to Chelsea, Bjorn, by the looks of it. Your thoughts on Coutinho to United? I spoke about this earlier on in the stream. I don't think you mustn't have been in for it. I hope it doesn't happen. I don't think it will happen. But if it does happen, it's a damn fine piece of business for United. I just hope it doesn't happen. That's all I can say, Bjorn. There's no doubting that there's a player there. I mean, we seen him firsthand when he was here, and we loved him when he was here. He could be a little bit frustrating at times, but you know what? We loved him. And he went to Barcelona, pissing many of us off. And if he turned around and went to United, yeah, look, there'd be some fume, I'm not going to lie. My son used to work in John Lennon Airport in Boots, and most of the Liverpool squad went in for snacks before they went on the plane. Stevie G wouldn't give him an autograph, but he got a couple of the lads. That's a tough one, isn't it? From Stevie. Good that he got to see some of the guys, so that's sweet. That's always good. Good to hear. Yeah, that's never, you know, I never want to judge anybody for a reason. They all have reasons why they do or don't do anything, but from your son's point of view, it would have been lovely to get that autograph. Shane Long should be our super sub. Great player, said Cody. World 11. Okay, let me have a think about it, mate, and I'll get back to you. Because there's a lot of thinking. I've got to squeeze Jean-Pierre Papin in that 11 somewhere. Craig, did I tell you I got 4 free tickets to the Ireland-England rugby game on February the 2nd? My neighbour's brother is Alan Clancy, who's pretty minted. He owns a hotel and shit. Right, well, what time do you need me at, Tom? And where do you want me to meet you, mate? I'm ready. I'm fully ready to go for that one, pal. Just let me know where you want me to meet you and we'll be there. Never been able to get a Six Nations ticket. Enjoy it, buddy. It should be a good game. Good night, Angus Court, mate. And again, mate, very kind of you. Thank you for the super chat, buddy. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and hopefully we chat soon. Impact sub and backup, I was thinking, but thought he played winger, which was wrong. Said Keane, no problem. Mate, we all make mistakes. I make a shit ton of them on here. Would you sign Luis Suarez back as a replacement? No. Not because I don't rate Louis, I absolutely love him. I would just rather we bring in someone to look to the future, particularly when you're talking about the amount of money we'd probably have to pay there. I'm almost praying for Timo Werner at this point, if I'm being honest. Rod said, I'm optimistic for the rest of the season after seeing Klopp cuddle Salah. Do you know what, Rod? I was only thinking about that cuddle earlier on myself. He really went to town, a little head rub and all, didn't he? Keep rubbing that magic shirt, Craig. I'm in a quandary about washing it or not, Rod, because it absolutely stinks at this point. I just don't like. I don't like washing it when we're on a run like that. Good night, Cody, mate. Always a pleasure to have you in. Big rumour United going to bid for Rice and Phil. Thoughts? The Coutinho thing, I think you probably just heard me covering. The Declan Rice thing, they weren't the only ones linked. Somebody else was linked with him as well. Who was it? City was linked with Declan Rice as a replacement for Fernandinho. And I read that somewhere a couple of weeks ago. Don't ask me where, because I honestly can't remember it. Do you watch GAA and which county? Very little, Malone. I've got a Dublin shirt because I'm a dub. I live in Wexford, but yeah, I watch a little bit, but I wouldn't say. I played when I was younger. I played a lot in schools. I played with Kilmacud Crokes for a while. My local club would have been Coola when I grew up, but no, I'll be a glory hunter if I'm being honest. Tony Marshall the King said, "Do you watch MMA or just boxing?" I would never have watched MMA if it wasn't for Conor McGregor, if I'm being honest, Tony Marshall. But I watch a bit of it, but not anywhere near as much as I watch boxing. I wouldn't go out of my way to stay up for it or anything, put it that way. But there's so much I think the two sports can learn from each other. So much. What the UFC have with regards to fan engagement, accessibility to the fighters, and all of that type of stuff, I think boxing could learn lots from. In the same way, I don't think the UFC fighters are rewarded enough financially for the work that they put in, unless you're at the very, very top of the game, like McGregor. So, yeah, there's a lot we can both learn from each other. Boxing fucking stinks at the minute with regards to politics, and some of the decisions over recent years have been disgusting to say the least, and it's turned me a little bit against the sport that I've loved my entire life. So yeah, maybe I will end up leaning a little bit towards MMA in the future, but having an Irishman at the top of the sport for a while was beautiful. I mean, the whole country was riding a wave there, and look, the country is probably split down the middle. 50% of Irish people probably despise McGregor, but not me. I love the brash son of a bitch. I absolutely love them. I'm all for not being the usual apologetic, too nice Irish person. I love what McGregor did, and that would probably be what I was like as well if I was in his position. So yeah, so I love McGregor. I wouldn't mind seeing a rematch though between with McGregor and what's the dude's name, Max Holloway. I wouldn't mind seeing a rematch there. That would be interesting. Holloway has come on a lot since he lost to McGregor. Yes, that would be. I know McGregor would have to cut quite a bit of weight, but maybe at a catch weight or something. Although there aren't really any catch weights either in MMA, so. What have we got? We've hit 7,320 guys, so thank you very much. We're about 5 away. If there's 5 amazing people watching, please do hit that button. A couple more questions and then I'm going to call it a night. Origi, some of the kickoffs will change for television reasons. Absolutely they will. I bloody love McGregor, said Tony Marshall. Just stick it on and hope it doesn't rain. Or hope it rains, says Willow. Subi, no need to apologise, mate. McGregor Diaz 3 would be a belter as well. I mean, to be fair, they were 2 excellent fights. Nate Diaz is one tough son of a bitch. My God. That first fight with McGregor, when McGregor completely gassed, and look, he gassed a bit in the second as well, but not as much. Diaz was a fucking warrior. He took some punishment from McGregor and just fucking smiled at him and kept coming back. Oh, I mean, I love Nate Diaz as well. But yeah, Diaz 3 will be McGregor Diaz 3 will be a fight worth watching. I want McGregor to get his big Croke Park or Lansdowne Road fight before he finishes up. I think the country owes him that much. I hope the UFC make it happen for him. I know it's tough with television times and stuff, but I love McGregor to get a massive stadium fight in Ireland. You gonna watch the Katie Taylor fight in Paddy's weekend? Absolutely. What a talent Katie Taylor is. I mean, I watch her blistering hand speed and her aggressiveness and her technique, and I'm just in awe of the lady. What a fighter she is. Good night, Douglas, mate. Thank you, said brilliant stream. Thank you very much, buddy. Really kind of you for the super chat and of course for the kind words. Nate Diaz is a psycho. He really is. The Diaz brothers are hard as nails. You're right. They are definitely. They back up what they fucking say. They're tough sons of bitches. Do you get emotional when the Champions League music starts to play? No. You'll Never Walk Alone gets me emotional. I get emotional every time I walk up the steps and I see the pitch at Anfield appear in front of me when I'm going up the steps, and first you see the floodlights at the top of the stands, and you go up and you start to see that beautiful green on the pitch and the cold air, the smell hits your nose, and yeah, that shit gets me emotional. The Diaz brothers are like Cheech and Chong, they are, but still two tough sons of bitches. Liverpool are one of a number of clubs looking at Abdul Kadir Amor. It's thought that the Reds will only make a move should they sell Adam Lallana. I think we've spoken about that one a little bit. 27 million was the figure. The president of is it Trabzonspor, I think it is, came out and said that they haven't received a bid yet from a club that they would deem him worthy of, pretty much. So let's wait and see. Would definitely want to see McGregor Diaz again with a cracking fight. That would be, said Willow. Ferno said Eden Hazard said, I love Anfield, the stadium, the pitch, the atmosphere. I love to play there. Of course he does, because it's fucking excellent. Blowing bubbles is emotional. Whatever happened to Michael Jackson's monkey, I don't want to talk about on the stream. Or whatever happens in his sexual life is his own business. Bielsa twatting United at the old library would be magnificent. Yeah, I would like to see Leeds come back up, to be fair. A lot of my uncles are Leeds fans, and the rest of them are nearly all United fans, which is sickening. I think Arsenal are bottling it with the pressure of United, said Anthony. Look, something is going on there. And United, if they win tomorrow, there's going to be serious pressure on them. Right, guys, look, I'm going to call it a night, if that is okay with you all. Thank you so much for joining me on tonight's stream. And for, again, anyone who's with me for the watch along earlier on, I hope you enjoyed it. It was a tough afternoon for the Reds, but they got the job done. Liverpool 7 points clear at the top of the Premier League. Manchester City to play Wolves on Monday. Obviously, there's a massive game tomorrow as well with Spurs hosting Manchester United. I will watch that one and look forward to it. I'll chat to you all tomorrow night. I hope you can join me as always at about 10 o'clock or 10:15. Look, thank you everyone that subscribed. Jump on the Discord now, said Tom Flynn as well, if everybody wants to go on there. Love to each and every one of you. Look after your families. Tell your loved ones that you love them. And of course, up the motherfucking Reds.